Hi there. Thanks for joining us today. Before we get started, we'll wait just a few more minutes for the people that are just now joining us. So hang back, grab a coffee, and we'll get started here shortly. All right, let's get started. Welcome to this WTWH Marketing Lab webinar. Today you'll be learning how to develop a dedicated content marketing plan that can drive site growth and lead generation. Before we begin, I wanted to cover just a few housekeeping items. Today's webinar will be available at marketing.wtwhmedia.com. You can use today's login link for on-demand viewing. At the bottom of your screen are multiple widgets you can use. To view the slides, click on the Resource widget. You can also expand your slide area by clicking on the Maximize icon at the top right of the slide area or by dragging the bottom right corner of the slide area. If you have any questions during the webcast, you can click on the Q&A widget at the bottom and submit your question. I'll be answering questions at the end of this webinar during the Q&A. If we run out of time, I'll be sure to answer your question later via email. We do capture all questions. If you have any technical difficulty, please click on the Help widget. It has a question mark icon and covers common technical issues. And lastly, tweet with us during this webinar. Use the hashtag WTWHwebinar and tag my Twitter account to join in the conversation. I'm Aly Ryan, and I'll be your host for today's webinar. I'm the Digital Marketing Specialist for Design World here at WTWH Media. I have experience with search engine optimization, content marketing, PPC, and social media in the engineering space. I'm really excited to be here with you guys today and share my knowledge. In order to help you create a dedicated content marketing plan, this is what we're going to cover today. We'll first look at how you can match your content strategy to keywords that will help you drive business results. Next, you'll learn a really easy way to generate content with the Rule of 52. After that, we'll look at the best vehicles to distribute and promote content that will drive leads. Next, I'll show you how to take your leads and make them actionable ones that your sales team will really appreciate. And lastly, I'll show you a few of my favorite tools that make my job a lot easier, and I'm sure they could help you too. First, we'll look at how we can start to match your content strategy with keywords. So first, we'll be looking at this content model that comes from Joe Polizzi over at the Content Marketing Institute. He's broken down content marketing into 6 steps. When you connect all the pieces, you're really going to be making moves. This first step in the model is the sweet spot. And as you can see in the Venn diagram at the bottom of the screen, The sweet spot is where your customer's passion and their knowledge overlaps. Maybe your customer is a design engineer with a passion for sports, and perhaps you create some content that ties in both of these pieces. For example, if your company makes CAD software, you could provide some instructional content like a short video or a blog post that would show them how to design a baseball or a simulation of a bat hitting a ball with your software. This would hit the sweet spot because it covers both the sport and the design engineering passion of your customer. The next piece of this puzzle is the content tilt. So once you've got your sweet spot narrowed down, the next step is to put your own personal spin on the content. This will be what separates you from everyone else in your industry. Our sweet spot at Design World is the overlap between technology and engineering. One of our content tilts is our teardown videos that feature us tearing apart the latest gadgets like a Google Glass or a Fitbit and putting these videos on YouTube. These videos are some of our greatest traffic drivers, and our audience really loves these because it captures both their passion and their knowledge of engineering. So now that you've got your sweet spot and your content tilt, you'll need to choose a base for the content you're creating. You'll select one preferred content type. Maybe it's a video, maybe it's a blog, maybe it's a podcast, and then you'll deliver to this platform consistently over a long period of time, generally longer than 12 months. Now, to establish your credibility and authority, focus on 4 main points. The first one being content. What type of content do you excel at creating, and what's valuable to your audience? Second, platform. Will it be a blog, a YouTube channel, a podcast? Third, make sure you're delivering on this consistently. Can you produce this content at the same day, the same time, every week? And lastly, it's going to be over a period of time. It can take longer than 12 months to start seeing results from your efforts. Are you prepared to keep your content efforts going for as long as it takes to start seeing results? Now, once you've started publishing content to this base platform, you can then start working on harvesting your audience, which is the next step. Once you've built your base for your content, it's time to find ways to increase your audience and turn those one-time readers into ongoing subscribers. Thanks to the subscriber hierarchy on the right, we all know email subscribers are the most valuable since it allows your business to have the most control over your messages and when they're delivered. You're going to want to grow the number of email subscribers you have. Here's an example of how Design World is building a base for our motion control audience. We have a Subscribe Today image on the right side of our website, and then once it's clicked, it goes straight to a subscription form. Once they fill out the form, they'll be receiving a weekly e-newsletter straight to their inbox with our newest content. Once we've built a strong subscription base, we can now explore new ways to reach your audience by diversifying the content you create. Once we've built a strong and growing audience, it's time to start expanding your efforts beyond the main content platform and begin pushing on additional channels. The goal here is to establish other strong channels to your publishing efforts. Maybe it's workshops, research papers, podcasts, in-person events, or videos. All right, we're almost to the end of the model. The last step is monetization, which is probably the most important. The last step in the Content Inc. model is to generate revenue using the subscriber base you've built. This could be by supplying something they need, such as licensed content, paid educational events, consulting, and etc. And there you have it. Combine these 6 steps and you're sure to have a content marketing strategy that is ready to begin driving these results. So before we create this content, we need to ask ourselves, who are we even creating this for? Now, based on the buyer's journey, here are 4 different personas that we've created that are probably very similar to your target audience. First up, we have Curious Carl, and he's at the early stages of the journey. He's curious, but really not looking for anything specific. He's visiting engineering websites pretty often and watching videos that catch his eye. He's a passive buyer at this very moment. Next up, we have Learning Larry, who's a little further down the funnel, and he's actually involved in a project. He has a specific interest in a topic, and he's in the engagement stage, where he's active and he's downloading white papers and watching application videos that will help him with his project. Next, we have peer-to-peer Paula, and she relies on her peers to learn about companies and products. She needs to validate any information she's found with her peers in an environment where she can speak to colleagues on forums, social media, and other online communities. She really values what other people have to say about their experiences with products and with other companies. Lastly, we have Adam, and he's ready to go. He's the prime target for making the buying decision. He's downloading CAD files, talking to application engineers, and watching application videos. He's in the midst of a project and needs specific information. Make sure you can apply your content strategy to these personas and offer content and resources to all of these users across the buying cycle. As marketers, we know we can trust in Google to help us achieve our content strategy. In 2014, it was suggested that 64% of all web traffic came from organic search. Only 2% came from social and 12% direct. You know you need to tie in your content strategy with search engine optimization to drive traffic to your site. Here are some eye-opening statistics that really emphasize the importance of SEO into your content marketing strategy. The first page of Google receives 91% of all clicks. Only 4% of people actually go to the second page. I know when I'm doing a Google search, I always stay on the first page. And lastly, the top 3 organic results receive 61% of the clicks on the first page. So if you don't currently have an SEO strategy, you'll want to change that right away. The higher you rank on Google, the better and the more traffic you'll be receiving. This is a screenshot of a simple Google search I did on custom shims. You could do this about one of your company's products too easily. The first 4 results are ads, and you can tell this because of the little ad icon. These will receive 10% of all clicks on the page. The first organic result generally receives 33% of the clicks on the page. The top 3 results will share 61% of clicks and most of the traffic. And after that, the click-through rate drops dramatically. This is a keyword analysis that will help you identify what type of content you need to create and where you're going to get most of the bang for your buck. I did a keyword analysis for a company I work with, and here are their main products. I compared search volume using some tools I'll show you later. I saw a lot of people are doing searches on fasteners. So we suggested that they align their content to the most searched keywords that will help them drive traffic, engagement, and in the end, conversion. During this keyword analysis, I asked my client, what are your main products that bring in the revenue, and they gave me this list. I then analyzed where it would make the most sense to create the content for these certain products. As you can see, compression springs brings in 42% of their revenue, and this term has 13,000 monthly searches. Needless to say, we're going to be creating a lot of content about these compression springs in the future. So now you know about what you need to write about, but how are you going to write about all of it? Marketing teams are only so big, and engineers might have the most knowledge on the product, but they're really busy too. So using another tip from Content Marketing Institute, I give you the rule of 52. And this turns into only one question per week. So you'll create a document listing 52 frequently asked questions about customer pain points and common topics. And then you'll assign somebody to write about each one of these. This is how we do it at Design World. It's manageable and it works. This will help your content strategy tremendously. Here's an example of what one of our documents looks like. We have an editor dedicated to these questions. She highlights it in green once it's posted and then includes the link so we can then promote it and push it out to our target audience. So now you have all of this content, but how are you going to promote it all? How are you going to get your message out there when there's so much noise out there already? Lucky for you, there are so many vehicles to promote your content on. You could throw it on your company's Facebook page, the company blog, the company LinkedIn page. If it's a video, it should definitely be on your company's YouTube channel. You could take your frequently asked questions that are on your blog and even turn it into a webinar. And then you could take those webinar slides and upload it to a SlideShare so people could easily view the presentation slides. You could also take those frequently asked questions and include them in your e-newsletters that go out to your audience that you harvested from the Content Inc. model that I showed you earlier. Keep in mind that you can always, always, always recycle and repurpose this content on various platforms. Here's an example of how we use the Rule of 52 here at Design World. So we took our content and frequently asked questions that were originally on our website, as shown here, and created these design guide PDFs. These design guides included many frequently asked questions and other content that is valuable to our audience. We then promoted them in our e-newsletters and on our websites, as well as on social. We gated the content with a form that asked for their name, email, and company. Once they provided us with their information, they were able to download the design guide. And there you have it. There you have an easy way to distribute and promote your content to drive leads. Most of the time, the less information you ask on forms, the better the chance you have of the person actually filling all of the information out. But simple leads aren't always valuable. You're going to want more than just a name and a company to give to your sales team. So this is where Lead Lift comes in. This is our latest product, and it will help you append your leads. I just want to introduce this because it will make your job a lot easier, and your salespeople will love you for it. Whether they're leads that were created from our own Design World webinar or your own sales leads that you have already, you can upload them into Lead Lift and we'll append them for you. For example, if you have a lead but you only have a first name, a last name, and a company, our team will be able to append that data and give you a phone number, their email address, their LinkedIn profile, and more information to make it a valuable lead that your sales team will actually appreciate. This product is still very new, but you can find more information on it at our marketing website, marketing.wtwh.com. All right, here are some tools that you'll need in order to create a successful content marketing plan. Now, this isn't a sales pitch for these companies, but I really think they can make your job easier and get you the results and traffic that you're looking for. First, we have Moz, which is a keyword research tool. This was used to do the keyword analysis from earlier, where we looked at how many people are searching the term fasteners. As you can see, Moz lets us know it's a relatively easy keyword to rank for with a lot of opportunity and potential. It also suggests other keyword variations we could use. SEMrush is another keyword research tool that will help your SEO strategy tremendously. I think this one goes a little bit more in depth than Moz, so I like SEMrush a little bit better. It provides us with related keywords, current ads about fasteners that are already running on Google, the top organic search results, and many more SEO tools. Next on my list of tools I can't live without, I have Google Analytics. So you've all heard of it, but are you all using it? Google Analytics is a great way to find out where your traffic is coming from, how your site's doing, what posts are performing best, are you tracking your conversions, and so much more. This tool should be every marketer's best friend. Next, we have Hootsuite. So there's so many social media management tools out there, but I think Hootsuite might be one of the best just because of their interface. As brand manager of Design World, I'm able to see everything going on with our social media accounts on one screen. So I always know who's engaging with us and what's happening online. It's a really easy tool to use, and this would be helpful to any marketing manager that's managing social media accounts. I believe that Google AdWords, Google's PPC advertising system, can work for almost any type of business. It does require time and money, but it's time and money well spent because AdWords delivers measurable ROI to marketers and drives traffic and conversion. It's measurable, flexible, and complements your overall marketing efforts. If you want traffic to your website and leads, AdWords is a great way to do it. The last tool I have for you guys today is SpyFu, and this is a PPC tool that allows you to see what your competitors are doing on Google AdWords. It can help you increase your website traffic, track keyword rankings, see what your competitors are doing, and it'll help you get the most out of your PPC strategy. And there you have it. That's how you can develop a dedicated content marketing plan that can drive site growth and lead generation. So it looks like we now have some time for a few questions. So start submitting some in the Q&A box. If we run out of time and I don't get to your question, I'll be sure to email you later with an answer. All right. Oh, here's a good one. The question is, should content marketing replace traditional marketing? I would say no, you really still need to have a strong traditional marketing base. Usually your content marketing works together with your other marketing campaigns, and it shouldn't be in replacement of them. Next question is, how often should I be creating content? Great question. I would honestly say as often as possible, and I know that's probably not the answer you want to hear, but there isn't a magic formula for how often you should be creating content, but you should be creating it on a consistent basis. You can always look at what your competitors are doing and try to keep a close eye on them. If you want to score more leads, you'll want to have a higher search engine ranking than your competitors and have more information for your leads to look through. So just make sure that you find a consistent pattern where you can create valuable content as often as possible. But please make sure it's valuable. If it's terrible content, you're just wasting your time. All right, I think we have time for one more. The last question will be, what types of content are most effective? I would say that I think a common misconception is that people always think of blogs whenever they hear content marketing. But that's not the only type of content you should be utilizing. Think of ebooks, guides, tip guides, infographics, podcasts, webinars, SlideShare, video, social media. I could go on for days. There's so many different types of content out there. And you can always repurpose content in so many different ways. As I mentioned earlier, you could take your frequently asked questions that were used for a blog post and turn them into a tip guide like Design World. That's what we did. We generated a ton of leads that way. Or you could have someone answer the frequently asked questions in a short video. And you can include this video in an e-newsletter. But test it out, learn what works best for you, and see what's most effective for your target audience. All right, it looks like that's all the time we have for today. If I didn't get to your question, I'll be sure to email you soon, so be checking your inbox shortly. Today's webinar will be available on our marketing website at marketing.wtwhmedia.com. It's not too late to get in the conversation on Twitter using the hashtag WTWHwebinar. Feel free to tag my Twitter account as well. Lastly, be sure to connect with Design World by checking out our website and see how we're creating content. Thank you for attending today's webinar. Now get out there and start producing content.